ARPG. Talk about things that we were not expecting. Now, picture this. Medieval dark fantasy Gothic vampires RPG made by The Witcher 3 and the founding of a AAA game. Just by that, just quite literally by that, I'm just sold, dude. It's like the game that I dream on my wet gamer streams. But how? Who? When? Where? Where did this come out from? Is this real? Are we in heaven? Well, let's just talk about that in this video. We'll go through the studio, what made this game to be, what prompted this game to be, who is making it, why does the gameplay sections look like the future of gaming, who is behind this, and all that stuff. Let's start with the who. It is being made by a team of veterans in CD Projekt Red. As you very well can tell by the cinematic trailer, it looks quite exactly the same as the Witcher cinematic trailers. No surprise there. It's made by quite literally the same people that made these trailers. The Witcher 3's games director and Cyberpunk 2077 games producer left CD Projekt Red after 2077's launch. Looks like that's a tale that's going to haunt us until the end of days. Back then, the eyes of the world were set on Cyberpunk 2077. After a disastrous launch, stories began to emerge about how things were going inside the company. Multiple sources and anonymous in the company's employees reaching out to the media outlets to tell them what was really working under the disastrous launch of a game. Stories about crunch times to meet investors' deadline for release date, developers that while being under crunch, being underpaid as well, the minimum wage with promises of compensation if, and that's a huge if, Cyberpunk 2077 did well on sales. With all the refunds and Cyberpunk being on the eyes of the world, everyone was trying to drop the ball on someone else, and truth behind on how working on the game was came to light. I know it's hard to talk about all of this again. Those were dark days for gaming. But it is very much relevant because it was Konrad Tomaszkiewicz, the Witcher 3 game director and Cyberpunk 2077 games producer, that was accused of bullying and mistreating employees on the company. Overall, it seems that no one wanted to work with him, and there was later an investigation inside of the company where he was found not guilty. The email sent by the source added the not guilty between quotation marks. However, he decided to leave the company on his own accord and apologized to the staff for all of the bad blood that he had caused. And well, yeah, he's the loudest one to leave the company because he was quite literally kind of like the boss of the place. But the team behind Red Wolves, which is the new studio making this game, was made initially about 20 people, which most of them left as well the company, and well, they are the ones that made The Witcher 3. And well, yeah, he's the new blood of Dawnwalker's game director. Now, we cannot say for sure what went inside CDPR, but if I decide myself to give him the benefit of the doubt for myself, I'd say that it's really mature, that when you have like the dreamed position in the company is backing you up, you still decide to make an introspection on what led to that point, what did you really do, and if you need to apologize for anything, which he did. To me it sounds like that's what happened. At least that's what we're being led to believe in here, because if you go to the new development team behind Blood of Dawnwalker's webpage, you will see that the values, mission and goals of the studio is to be fair, to include everyone's opinions to the table, to work at a place where you feel safe and you feel happy and there's camaraderie in the company, and that you are being taken into account. So yeah, I think that the dude's learned from his mistakes and it's trying to grow up from them, which is at the very least something I can respect if that's the case. Now moving on, they started the team with 20 developers. The team has now about 90 people working on the project, and just to compare to the obvious and make assumptions and suppositions and what have you, The Witcher 3 and CDPR originally was made on 150 developers, which by the end of the development cycle, they were around 250. That game was made on 3.5 years. In 3.5 years, Rebel Wolves was founded in 2022. Probably started development in 2023, and we already have in-game scenes that show us a humongously amazing game. I wouldn't doubt if this actually releases in 2026 being lenient, or 2027 being realistic. Just around those dates, I think that that's something that it could happen. I'm pretty sure that the trailer is going to set the eyes of the world on them, and their job careers are going to start to be flooded by enthusiastic people wanting to work on this. And they can, because they're working under the wing of Bandai Namco. So I wouldn't say that they're budget limited at all, especially because they did state on their new website that this is a AAA game that they're working on. So no, it is not an indie veteran developer's Steam studio. This is going wild, bro, and especially I want to emphasize that it is Bandai Namco that's backing them up. They are producing the game, they are publishing the game, so I think that when it comes to the budget, there's no limitations in here. Well, of course, there's limitations, but I think that we do have a AAA game budget. Lastly, let's actually talk about the little that we know about the game, which it is not much. Basically, they were like, remember that Blood and Wine DLC that you guys loved so much? Well, we made a game out of that. A new Cohen, a new vampire made out of the necessity to save his family in a world that's being plagued by the hubris of men and the plague. Vampires were forced to remain in the shadows. Now with the weakened humanity, they're more bold and they want to reclaim what's theirs. It is stated on the official webpage that gameplay-wise, you will be able to switch back and forth from vampire skills and human combat capabilities. That will most likely tie to the morality system that the game will naturally have, since the choices and consequences will revolve around you being a vampire route to save your family or human path to save your soul, condemning one or the other on the way to do so. I'm thinking that this is somewhat similar to Baldur's Gate 3 Tadpole situation. You use your vampiric powers to somewhat like save your family, but to what cost? Here, the motor driving the engine though is the main protagonist, wanting to save his family, not only himself. So you're not just using your powers to save yourself, you're using your vampiric powers to save your family. And if you want to save yourself, you want to save your soul, then you're probably placing your family at stake as well. And well, you know how the Witcher games are. There's no good and bad, there's just shades of grey. And every side quest leaves you wondering that aren't video games supposed to make me happy? Then why am I sad about a quest in a video game, how the quest in the video game turned out? Like, yeah, that's The Witcher for you. But yeah, such is life anyways. I peed my pants, you peed your pants with this trailer, we all did. Now we're happy. We're getting new gameplay in summer this year, probably a release date, hopefully. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join Discord, have a beautiful, beautiful day and goodbye. No one's told you today you're a gorgeous and beautiful person. You are indeed a gorgeous and beautiful, beautiful person. Have a beautiful day and goodbye.